Here are the top stories for today, November 25, 2019. President Duterte looks into exploring new partnerships and cooperation as he attends the ASEAN-Korea Commemorative Summit. Malacanang promises a memorable stay in the Philippines for the athletes of the 30th Southeast Asian Games. Media personnel commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Maguindanao Massacre. And Mati City calls for the exploration of dive sites in Pujada and Mayo Bays.
Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Malacanang on Monday said exploring new partnerships and cooperation will be among President Rodrigo Duterte's main goals in his second visit to South Korea. Duterte arrived safely in Busan, South Korea on Monday morning to begin the first day of the summit and other related special events and activities. The president was met at the Gimhae Air Base by South Korean Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs Lee Tae-ho, Deputy Director General of Public Diplomacy and Task Force Philippines Team Leader Kim Jung-ho, and Ambassador to the Philippines Han Dong-man. Also present in welcoming the president were Philippine Ambassador to the Republic of Korea No Wong and Chief of Presidential Protocol and Presidential Assistant on Foreign Affairs Robert Borge. Earlier, Wong said the Philippines is pushing for the conclusion of a free trade agreement with South Korea to slash import tariffs on certain products, particularly bananas from the Philippines. Aside from the free trade agreement, Ambassador Han earlier said that at least 4 cooperation agreements in the fields of social security, education, fisheries, and tourism will be signed after the bilateral meeting between Duterte and Moon. Meanwhile, PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar and Korean Ambassador Han Dong-man hold a press briefing with the Philippine media delegation at the Haeundae Sunset Business Hotel of Busan in South Korea on Sunday, November 24. Andanar highlights the strong bilateral ties between the Philippines and South Korea.
Napakahalaga kasi ng Korea para sa atin, hindi lang dahil merong ASEAN and ROK summit, kundi we are celebrating 70 years of bilateral relations. And within those 70 years, Korea became the 4th largest trading partner of the Philippines. Although ang export ng Pilipinas ay nasa $2.5 billion and the import is $11.2 billion. So there's a little bit of an imbalance, but we're working on that. That's why we are discussing the free trade agreement. It's also important for us to state that Korea or South Korea gives us the 7th largest ODA since the first quarter of this year at $83.7 million. Now, it only means that our relationship is robust, is very strong. Also, we will be signing a few bilateral agreements by the end of the trip of President Duterte, in the areas of education, tourism, social security, and fisheries. And this is on top of the 20 agreements that President Duterte witnessed in 2018, which amounted to about $4.8 billion worth of deals na maaring makapaglikha ng 20,000 hanggang 25,000 or 25,000 jobs. Now, going back to the FTA, hopefully, if there's a good agreement on that area, hindi lang ho major products like banana, pineapple, and copper ang pwedeng i-export ng Pilipinas. Hopefully, madagdagan pa ito ng iba pang produkto mula sa bansa natin para ma-balance natin yung ating trade deal with South Korea.
President Duterte has fired Vice President Leni Robredo as co-chairperson of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs. The president booted Robredo out of ICAD after his recent warning that he would fire the vice president in case she discloses confidential drug war records. It also came a day after the president's revelation that he was not satisfied with Robredo's performance as drug czar. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo has this to say.
The palace wished to announce the termination of Vice President Leni Robredo as co-chair of ICAD for the following reasons. One, the president is responding to the suggestion of former Senator Francis Pangilinan, president of the Liberal Party, to fire the vice president. Number two, the president is also responding to the dare and taunt of the vice president, who told him publicly to tell her if he wants her out. Number three, as previously stated by the president, the vice president has performed many missteps. Instead of performing her task as co-chair, the scope of which has been outlined in the executive order creating ICAD, she instead opted to talk with foreign nationals, foreign institutions like the US and the United Nations, as well as other personalities who have prejudged already the program of the government against illegal drugs.
Malacanang on Sunday assured the athletes of the 30th Southeast Asian Games that they will have a pleasant, productive, and memorable stay in the Philippines. In a statement, Panelo said that they are not promising that the Games will run without a hitch, but will exercise due diligence in making sure everyone will have a pleasant, productive, and memorable stay. Panelo made the assurance following several complaints from foreign football teams about the Philippines' supposed ill-preparedness for this year's SEA Games. Football teams of Myanmar, Timor-Leste, Cambodia, and Thailand vented frustrations over issues concerning transportation, lodging, and training upon their arrival in Manila ahead of the competition. The Philippine Southeast Asian Games Organizing Committee, or PHISGOC, acknowledged the mistakes and apologized for the inconvenience the athletes had experienced. PHISGOC explained that it was able to send Timor-Leste football team to Hotel Jen after they were mistakenly brought to Century Hotel, which is a few minutes away from the athletes' accommodation. With regard to the Cambodian football team, PHISGOC said transportation was immediately provided despite the change in their arrival details that were relayed late. PHISGOC said it requested the Cambodian team to wait in an air-conditioned private hotel conference room to let them rest and feel comfortable while waiting for the rooms, since they arrived ahead of the standard 2 p.m. check-in time. For Panelo, incidents of delays in transportation and accommodation happen in international sports and games by reason of the number of countries and athletes involved. Nevertheless, he said the government would not make any excuses and would instead strive harder to avoid a repeat of such incidents. Around 8,750 athletes from Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Singapore, and Vietnam are expected to compete in 530 events in 56 sports. Still to come, media personnel commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Maguindanao Massacre. President Duterte awards the Campion Medal to soldiers wounded in operations against insurgents in Mindanao. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
The interest of the Filipino people ay dadalhin ni Presidente dito sa South Korea, and that includes regional security.
Korea, as a very close ally and a very close partner of the Philippines, will remain as a true friend to work together. We are in the same boat to navigate a long journey, eventually for achieving prosperity. So sabay-sabay natin takin para sa ating pagkakaibigan sama. Thank you, maraming salamat.
It has been 10 years since 58 persons, including journalists, were brutally murdered by gunmen allegedly led by Mayor Andal Datu Unsay Ampatuan Jr. The families of the victims who were at the massacre site, together with Maguindanao and EGCO, were all praying for the conviction of the culprits to put an end to the gruesome murders and give justice to the slain victims. Presidential Task Force on Media Security and relatives of the victims commemorate the Maguindanao Massacre on Saturday, hoping and praying that justice will be served soon. Let's watch this video as a tribute to the victims of the Maguindanao Massacre.
Well, usually ang talagang matagal na proseso yung sa trial proper, no? Always remember that meron tayong halos 200 na respondents dito. At bukod doon, meron tayong halos 200 din na testigo ng prosecution. At nasa mahigit 150, kung di ko nagkakamali, 160 plus na testigo naman ng depensa. So, lahat sila ay dinidinig. Alam mo, they are still presumed innocent until proven guilty and due process of law. So, dito yung talagang nakakainip na antayin.
Ang National Press Club ay isa sa mga kagyat na responde sa pangailangan natin mga kapatid sa media na naging kasama nga dyan sa infamous Ampatuan Massacre. Noong panahon na yon, November 23, I remember exactly right, ako at saka isa pang director ng Press Club, kami ang inatasan ni Benny Antiporda, now USEC ng DNR, who was our president then. Inatasan kami na magdala ng kaunting tulong sa mga pamilya ng biktima, all 33 families ng mga biktima. Binigyan namin ng monetary consideration na tulong po ng National Press Club.
Dapat walang makalusot sa mga major suspects. Oo. So, inaasahan natin by before December 20, magkakaroon na ng promulgation na magpapabor doon sa mga biktima ng Maguindanao Massacre.
Sa totoo lang, bago lang namatay ang asawa ko, last May lang po, namatay siya na inaasam rin ang hustisya, na marinig niya rin na magkaroon ng hustisyang sa anak namin. Pero hindi niya nahintay.
Alam mo, hindi ako masyado sanay magpunta dito pa. Yan po. Dalawa yan na anak ko. Ito yung panganay. Tapos ito yung dalaga na anak ko. Magkapatid yan sila. Kasama sa asawa ni Congressman. Tapos ito naman doon sa sasakyan. Pagkatapos nila patayin doon sa sasakyan, tinapon nila sa mga labas, lahat-lahat. Napakasakit. Maski na nang gawin kong mag-move on, hindi pa rin ako makamove on. Na walang kasalanan yung anak mo, isipin mo, walang ginawang masama. Kumpiyansa na kala nila, hindi patayin yung babae lang. Kaya sa amin na Islam, lalaki lang mag-away, hindi pwede patayin ng babae.
The President signed the Administrative Order Number 1, creating the Presidential Task Force on violations of the right to life liberty and security of the members of the media.
Nasa atin, may secure naman doon, may security doon. Okay, sige.
The administration through PCOO and the PTFoMS shall continue to go after and hold accountable to law these perpetrators of media killings and violence in the Philippines, regardless of who or what they are.
The National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflicts vows to continue its programs designed to end the security threats of communist rebels. Major General Antonio Parlade Jr. said this comes despite the resistance and criticisms of Communist Party of the Philippines founding chair Jose Maria Sison and his allies. Parlade said the NTF-LCAC programs anchored on good governance will continue to provide services, livelihood, land, and infrastructure to the underprivileged in order to end local communist insurgency. Parlade, who is also AFP Deputy Chief of Staff for Civil Military Operations, said efforts of the Makabayan bloc to gather signatures to stop the alleged crackdown on progressive groups are a sign of desperation. He said, contrary to Sison's claims that the number of rebels and supporters who surrendered to the government are fake, the CPP-NPA is well aware of these and trying very hard to stop this trend. He said they are very threatened by the success of the NTF-LCAC's localized peace engagement, enhanced comprehensive local integration program, land distribution, and the enforcement of laws. President Rodrigo Duterte on Sunday conferred the Campion Medal on 5 Army soldiers who were wounded in military operations against Islamic insurgents in war-torn Mindanao. Duterte paid a visit on the wounded soldiers at the Metro Davao Medical Research Center on Sunday morning. The soldiers sustained injuries in separate clashes against the members of the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters and the Daula Islamia Turaife group in rural parts of Mindanao. The Order of Lapu-Lapu is awarded to those who have rendered extraordinary service or made exceptional contributions to the success of the President's campaign or advocacy. The Campion Medal in the Order of Lapu-Lapu is granted to a person who was seriously wounded or suffered great loss of property. Malacanang said the President praised the wounded soldiers for their heroism and bravery in securing the country. Up next, displaced residents in Marawi City undergo digital literacy training. And Mati City calls for the exploration of dive sites in Pujada and Mayo Bays. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
아세안 정상들과 함께 한 아세안의 새로운 30년, 대한민국의 새로운 100년을 시작하고 싶습니다.
In continued efforts to rehabilitate Marawi City, displaced residents underwent digital literacy training to boost their computer skills to improve their careers and livelihood. Christine Lynn Viajante has the story.
Residents from Barangay Gadongan, Marawi City thanked the Department of Information and Communications Technology for their free digital literacy training.
So sa training na to, napakalaki ang kasi first ang training na binigay ng DICT ay digital literacy. So of course, kailangan natin yan yung mga basic Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and of course yung natutunan namin yung email ad kung paano gamitin yun.
Jalal is just one of the 40 beneficiaries who participated on the said program. He is part of the second batch of trainees that took advantage of DICT's free skills training on Microsoft Office, online communications and cybersecurity and awareness.
Ang training namin is it really focuses on mga fundamental computer literacy which can be used or pwede gamitin natin sa education, employment, and even businesses.
Napaka-thankful ko po. Actually lang dahil po para sa akin, kundi dahil para sa mga kabarangay ko po, sa mga constituent po, na malaki pong malalaman po nila dito. Sana po after this program po, ito pong seminar nila, sana po makatulong po ito sa mga natutunan po nila dito sa barangay ko, sa sir, sa DSCT, Tech 48. Itong binigyan nilang programa, sana po ma-apply nila sa kanilang mga panggabuhayan sa mga trabaho po nila.
Salamat, also a beneficiary, said that this training will have a strong impact, especially in enhancing his qualification for future career.
Ngayon, na-try ko, medyo yung skill ko is feeling, nagli-level up na ako kahit papaano. It is essential for me because in the future of my life, na maaari kong gamitin to, kahit papaano, pwedeng makapag-apply ako ng trabaho. Is it because of kahit na maliit lang yung tinuro sa akin, I will accept it more times para ma-grab ko ito na maayos.
Moreover, DICT ensures that this free training will be prioritized for Marawi internally displaced persons or IDPs. Aside from teaching digital literacy, DICT will also put up a free Wi-Fi zone open to all residents of Barangay Gadongan. For PNA Newsroom, Christine Lynn Viajante of the Philippine Information Agency.
Various private individuals in partnership with the local government have revived the search of possible dive sites in Pujada and Mayo Bays in Mati City, Davao Oriental. Dive explorations were discontinued by the administration that replaced Mayor Michelle Rabat in 2013 until 2019. Over the weekend, businessman and diving enthusiast Miko Rabat, brother of the mayor, invited fellow divers Bong Chavez and Curtis Cooper to explore Mangihay Beach in Pujada Bay. In August, the Department of Tourism held a series of dive validation activities in Mati City and Tarragona, Davao Oriental, which have revealed more potential sites for diving operations. Pujada Bay has been declared as one of the most beautiful bays in the world during the 15th World Bays Congress in Toyama Prefecture, Japan. Benguet Province celebrated on Saturday its 119th founding anniversary and 14th Adivay Festival. More on this and other news in the provinces from Janice Cabe.
Mayors from the different towns of Benguet feasted with their constituents on native pigs and rice wine and performed the tayaw or native dance. Governor Melchor Diclas hailed this year's celebration as there were no major typhoons or rains and vegetables and animal produce are overflowing. Last year's Foundation Day and Adivay Festival were celebrated with a cleansing ritual following the devastation caused by Typhoon Ompong and continuous rains. Meanwhile, some 400 rangers who were former Moro Islamic Liberation Front rebels will secure the forests of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. On Saturday, Bangsamoro Chief Minister Ahod Balawag Ibrahim spearheaded the launching of the integrated Bangsamoro Greening Program at Camp Darapanan and at the same time appointed the new forest rangers. This is one of the priority programs of the Bangsamoro government and also forms part of its peacekeeping efforts. In other news, police arrested 32 drug personalities, including a high-value target based in South Cotabato, in a series of operations in different parts of Soxargen last week. Joint operatives arrested high-value target Benjamin Flores Petines Jr., 45 years old, resident of Lantana Subdivision, Barangay Cannery site in Pulumulok, South Cotabato. The operations, which were launched in coordination with the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency in Region 12, resulted in the recovery of 103,000 pesos worth of suspected shabu. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
With Hallyu, or the Korean wave, taking the Philippines and many other countries by storm, the door opened for many fans to explore the uniqueness and beauty of Korean culture and way of life. This is the theme of the recently opened Korean Life Aesthetics exhibit at the Metropolitan Museum of Manila. The exhibit showcases the handicrafts and design of 33 artists, each inspired by Korean history and culture from the Joseon dynasty to the present. The featured crafts are everyday items seen in the hanok, or traditional Korean house. Items such as moon, jars, dining utensils, and furniture are made to represent the aesthetics of Korean life. Korean Life Aesthetics caps off the year-long celebration of the Philippines-South Korea 70th year of diplomatic relations. It will run until January 31st, 2020. Here now is the latest in our community billboard. Everyone is invited to watch the first ever presidential silent drill competition. Witness a display of excellence, discipline, and character from the country's 7 major service academies. The academy is in line with the directive of President Rodrigo Duterte to the DND and PSG to engage the youth in military activities. Watch the competition and support our country's future leaders on December 5th at the Quirino Grandstand in Manila. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories.
President Duterte looks into exploring new partnerships and cooperation as he attends the ASEAN-Korea Commemorative Summit. Malacanang promises a memorable stay in the Philippines for the athletes of the 30th Southeast Asian Games. Media personnel commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Maguindanao Massacre. And Mati City calls for the exploration of dive sites in Pujada and Mayo Bays.
Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.